The first thing I'll need to do to fret my fingerboard is put an arch in this fret wire here. This comes flat, some of it comes coiled, but this is straight, so I need to put an arch in it. And I'm going to do that here in my fret arching roller. For those of you familiar with sheet metal work, this works just like a slip form roller, and it will put a curve in that fret wire that I want to match the radius of my fingerboard. And see, we get a nice curve in that. Now, in the rest of the video, you're going to see a different fret wire, like this gold, because that's what this guitar calls. Fingerboard glued to the neck, and it's nearly ready to put frets in. But before I fret, I want to go down through each one of these fret slots and cut a little V at the top of it with a small 3-corner file. And I've actually already done that on all of these, but that opens that fret slot up just enough so that this fret tang, the bottom of the fret, can seat tightly on the board. After I've done that, I want to clear any accumulated dust and dirt or obstructions out of the board, so I run this little hook tool through each fret slot. You can see that that tool has a hook ground in it, and it'll clean those frets right out. After that, I put a coat of wax on the board so that the adhesives I use will come off much more easily. My next step is to put a little bit of white PVA glue on each fret. I glue my frets in, and I use white PVA because in the future, when somebody needs to refret this guitar, they won't hate me as much trying to remove them. So I press the fret into the slot, and I hammer that down, starting at one end, crossing to the other. And you may see a little glue squeeze out there, so I grab a small piece of paper towel, and I can wipe that off, and it comes off quite nicely because I've waxed that board, and that keeps that water-based glue from soaking into the wood at all. And then I simply reach over with my fret tang, hope you can see this okay, my cutter, and I cut that tang off there and that excess fret. And we're just going to do that 21 times. They're hammered in, and they've been clipped off, but the ends are still very sharp. So I'm going to use this fine file with a handle cut off to go down through and level those frets perfectly so that they've been filed even with the surface of the fingerboard out here on the edge, but they still have a sharp corner up here, and that's very disturbing. It'd be very hard to play. So we're going to bevel that using this tool. This is a block of high-density polyethylene with another single cut file set in it so that it will produce a 35-degree angle when I file these frets. All of the leveling and beveling with files, it's still a little bit sharp. So we're going to polish that up, clean it up with some 600 grit wet and dry paper on a good hard block here. Even after all that cleanup, I'm still not quite done. There's a little bit of a burr that you can feel on the frets. So I'm going to take this needle file. I've ground a safe edge on this so that it won't affect the fingerboard itself. And I'm going to hold at an angle and file. And I'm going to count my strokes. 1, 2, 3. See, I can count. And that will church door the end of that fret. It's a trick I learned years ago as a kid watching technicians down at Martin Guitar in the repair shop. And that will put a nice shape off the end of those and take all of those burrs right off there.